Profound gratitude and great pride that I welcome you here today on this beautiful and sacred morning on the historic Lexington Battle Green. On a personal note, before I get into what I like to share with you, this is especially meaningful to me. My wife and I live in Lexington. My wife is a permanent resident. So I understand the process that you've gone through, and it's my hope that a year from now, she'll be sitting where you are. So it's with deep pleasure and pride that I get to be here with you today. There are a few places in our country that are more symbolic than right here on this common. For it was right here on April 19, 1775, that the first blood was shed for our freedom and the cause of liberty was first defended. Not in speeches or documents, but in actions, with courage, conviction, sacrifice. Captain John Parker and roughly 80 local men, ordinary citizens, stood shoulder to shoulder against the most powerful army in the world. Although they drilled twice a week for about a year and a half, they were not professional soldiers. They were farmers, blacksmiths, craftsmen, merchants. They were husbands, fathers, and sons. But when the moment came, they responded to Captain John Parker's orders and stood outnumbered against the British regulars. They stood firm, not for wealth or glory, and not even for themselves. They stood for freedom, for justice, and for the hope that a better world was possible. They stood for generations unborn. They stood for you. They believe in a dream of a new nation, a nation where liberty would not be the privilege of a chosen few, but the birthright of all. They believe that every person should have the freedom to live their lives in peace and to pursue happiness without fear of tyranny or oppression. That belief came from the foundation of the United States that became the foundation of the United States of America. And now, 250 years later, you stand where they once stood, not as strangers, not as guests, but as soon-to-be fellow citizens, as Americans. Today, you take your rightful place in this great, unfinished story of this country. You bring with you your languages, your cultures, your faiths, your families, your hopes, and your dreams. You are the living fulfillment of what those men on this green fought and died for. The enduring truth that freedom belongs to all who seek it, and that America must remain a beacon of hope in a world that still longs for liberty. This is not a ceremony. This is a sacred moment. You are becoming part of a nation built on the bloodlines, not on bloodlines, but on ideals. A nation bound together, not by ancestry, but by the powerful belief that all people are created equal and that the government exists to serve its people, not to rule over them, but to protect their rights and reflect their will. You are about to be Americans now. You carry that title with honor, with responsibility, with pride. You are now part of the ongoing journey to create a more perfect union, a journey that began right here on the dawn of April 19th, 1775. Captain Parker and his brave men dared to declare, "We will be free." So as you take your oath today, take it with your head held high. You are not just joining a country. You are joining a living, breathing, ever-evolving promise. A promise that says no matter where you come from, here you can belong. Here you are seen. Here you are heard. Here you have a voice. And here you can dream. Welcome to the land of the freedom. Welcome to the home of the brave. Welcome to the United States of America. Thank you, and may God bless you all, and may God bless this United States of America.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I am Craig Sandler, the president of the Lexington History Museums, and we are thrilled and honored to host today's naturalization ceremony on historic Lexington Green. It's a delight, a privilege, a pleasure to see you all here today. We're gathered on one of the most special spots in America to welcome a most special group of people, our soon-to-be newest American citizens, and I'm very glad to be with you. I'm also very glad to see so many of our community's leaders in the audience, and I know they share my pride in the event. From the Select Board, we have with us Chair Doug Lucente, Vice Chair Jill Hay, Joe Pato, and the Select Board's newest member, Vanita Kumar, who deserves special appreciation today because she herself became a citizen in 2007 in a ceremony much like this one. We also want to recognize Lex 250 Chair Susie Berry, who's basking in the glow of a job well done. Town Manager Steve Bartha, Deputy Town Manager Kelly Axtell, and State Representative Michelle Socolo. If I've overlooked anyone, forgive me. Now, even in turbulent times, America still stands for freedom and opportunity and respect for people from all walks of life. The citizens of Lexington who fought here 250 years ago sparked a revolution based on the principles of equality and human rights. These principles are definitely still alive, and we reaffirm them here today. By taking your oaths as citizens here today, you are making this place even more historic and even more sacred. As far as we can determine, you are the first group of people to become citizens on this hallowed ground. So today, you take your place in history as you take your place in America. You've studied long and hard to prove you understand what it means to be American. We're thrilled to welcome you as citizens, and we know you'll make the nation stronger. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Dennis Reardon, and I am pleased to represent the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security at these proceedings today. Your Honor, there are 9 applicants for naturalization present who wish to change their names as part of the naturalization process. The government has investigated the reasons for these changes and interposes no objection. I respectfully move that all 9 name changes be allowed.
I'm happy to allow the motion, and for those of you who will be using new names, I hope you enjoy them.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, there are 49 applicants for naturalization present here today. Each applicant has been duly examined under the provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952 as amended, and each has been found well qualified for United States citizenship. At this time, I respectfully move that you request the Clerk of the Court to administer the oath of allegiance to all 49 applicants, thus bestowing upon them one of our nation's highest honors, United States citizenship.
I'm delighted to allow the motion, and I will direct Deputy Clerk Eric Siebert to administer the oath of allegiance to the new citizens here today.
Hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or of which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. You may be seated.
This is a day you will remember for the rest of your lives. You've worked and studied to reach this moment, and you have obtained the honor and privilege of citizenship. And you really know the value of citizenship. Americans who were born here may sometimes take it for granted. And this town green is just a wonderful setting for this ceremony as we commemorate the 250th anniversary of the first battle in our country's war for independence. And I didn't know that this was the first time there's been a naturalization ceremony here on this green. I hope it won't be the last, but I know it's taken great effort by the Lexington town, by the Historical Society, by the Minutemen and Color Guard, by the police. Thank you to everyone for making this happen. This truly is a perfect place for a ceremony like this. And now, 250 years ago, there was a battle right here that demonstrated the bravery and determination of a small, heavily outnumbered band of men who stood up against the greatest military power the world had ever known. The battle here marked a starting point in the long struggle to build a nation and to shape our understanding of what that nation is. It was a long journey from that initial skirmish to ultimate military victory. And it took another 6 years and the intervention of a great military power to complete the war. But the momentum that we trace back to that time was not just military. From John Adams in Massachusetts to Thomas Paine in Pennsylvania to Thomas Jefferson and James Madison in Virginia, the response to heavy-handed royal rule over the American colonies grew into a full-fledged embrace of a new vision of human society and self-governance. A little more than a year after the battle here on this green, in June of 1776, delegates from the 13 colonies came together in Philadelphia and asked Thomas Jefferson to take the lead in drafting a Declaration of Independence. What emerged was the greatest political manifesto ever written. The Declaration reframed and reshaped the ongoing struggle. It was no longer just about independence from England. It was about a new conception of human liberty. The words of the Declaration began a change that has echoed down through the ages. You see, right there, in the first paragraph, was a bold assertion that challenged everything that had gone before. This was the idea, which was described as self-evident, that all people are created equal. And that idea has grown and spread through the following years in ongoing struggles within our country. When those words were first written, most of the authors had in mind the equality of land-owning white men. But in struggles to come, including a bloody civil war, the concept of equality took shape as the principle we embrace today. Those ensuing struggles fundamentally changed our understanding of whose rights are protected under our Constitution. They have shaped the very meaning of the first words of the Constitution. You know what those first words are. We, the people of the United States. Now, I'm here today as a representative of the United States District Court for the District of Massachusetts. And as you know from studying for your citizenship examinations, the courts are a critical part of our system of constitutional government. The Constitution is a covenant, an agreement among the people of the United States. It has been our guide as a country since it was ratified in 1789, and it's no accident that it begins with the words, "We, the people of the United States." Those words tell us that our republic was formed around the idea that power is held by and comes from the people. The Constitution outlines the structure of our national government, but it does much more than that. It also reflects our core values as a nation. It sets the terms for what President Lincoln unforgettably described as government of the people, by the people, for the people. Now, at the start, there were only 13 states involved in ratifying the Constitution. Today, our union is comprised of 50 states, with over 330 million citizens. That is one way our country and our Constitution have grown. Perhaps more importantly, in the growth of our Constitution and our nation, we have changed in critical ways our understanding of who are we, the people of the United States. The Constitution was originally written to permit slavery. Now it abolishes slavery and guarantees all citizens equal protection of the laws. The Constitution now guarantees women the right to vote. And as a new citizen, you are now part of we the people. And you now share in the rights and responsibilities held by all Americans. You've just taken an oath of loyalty to the Constitution. This is a solemn, conscious commitment to America's enduring principles and ideals. The oath of allegiance, which you just recited, calls upon you to support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. You do not take an oath of allegiance to any person, to any political party or even to any state or local government. Your oath is to the Constitution, which has long been the cornerstone in the system of ordered liberty that has been the greatest treasure of this nation. It is our shared commitment to the rule of law that allows citizens of the United States to build their lives in confidence that their rights will not be arbitrarily taken by any individual or faction. That is the foundation upon which our nation is built. Now, as citizens, we, or our forebears, have all taken different paths to be part of this nation. And today I'm excited to see just how many countries of origin are represented here. So I'm going to call out by country, and I'm going to ask you to stand up and please wave. We have one person here from Albania. And we have one from Algeria. We have 4 from Brazil. We have 5 from Cabo Verde. We have 2 from China. We have 1 from Colombia. We have 5 from the Dominican Republic. We have 1 from Ecuador. We have 2 from El Salvador. We have 1 from Ethiopia. We have 1 from France. We have 2 from Germany. We have 1 from Ghana. We have 4 from Haiti. We have 2 from India. We have 2 from Iran. We have 1 from Ireland. We have 3 from Jamaica. We have 1 from South Korea. We have 1 from Lebanon. We have 1 from Malawi. We have 1 from Morocco. We have 1 from Nepal. We have 1 from Poland. We have 1 from Romania. We have 1 from Sierra Leone. We have 1 from Ukraine. God save your country. We have 1 from Vietnam. So this is just a terrific mix. Through hundreds of years, the strength and beauty of our nation and the richness of our cultural traditions has been fed by wave after wave of new Americans. Many of you left your homes in order to pursue a better life for yourselves or your families. Some of you may have fled violence, war, or instability. Some of you may have been subjected to persecution for who you are, how you look, who you love, how you worship, or what you believe. We are a nation that celebrates the range of different experiences that has brought each of us here. And as we celebrate our diversity of backgrounds and experiences, we also celebrate our unity under the Constitution as we, the people of the United States. By taking the oath of allegiance and completing the long legal process of becoming a U.S. citizen, You have now become part of the group that created and owes its loyalty to the Constitution. You are now part of we, the people of the United States. So you should get used to saying that. I'm going to ask everybody to stand up, and any other citizens who are here, let's say it out loud together. We, the people of the United States. Again and louder. We, the people of the United States. We're outdoors so we can be really loud. We, the people of the United States. One more time. We, the people of the United States. Feels good, doesn't it? You can be seated. I've got a little more to talk about. As you enjoy the rights and benefits of citizenship, you must also recognize the responsibilities that come with it. Our country's greatness today is the product of the efforts of those who came before us, people who set out to make our country better not just for themselves, but for countless others who would come after them. They built and improved our country for people they would never meet. They fought and marched and voted to create a constitution that honored the rights of all persons within our borders. All of us benefit directly from their efforts, and all of us, in turn, owe it to this country to make this a better nation for those who will follow us. So what are some of those responsibilities? Well, first of all, I urge you, vote. Find out about the issues in your local, state, and national elections and make sure to cast your ballot. You're part of this now. We may not always like the choices we face, but that's what it means to be part of a self-governing nation. We are all called upon to participate, to choose our direction as a people. Second, serve. Some of you will be required to register for possible military service. At this time, no one is compelled to join the armed forces, but some of you, I'm sure, will choose to serve in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, or the Coast Guard. And I urge all of you to support and honor the men and women who put their lives on the line to protect our country. And we have a few new citizens today who have already begun their service. I'd like to honor them now, and I'll ask each of you to stand when I call your name. We've got Celestino Brandao Gomes, Army National Guard. We have Rafael Barroso de Cunha, veteran in the Navy. We have Theo Antonio Gordon, also Navy. We have Mirek Michael Jarzynski from the Air Force Reserve. And we have Nat Yu Ho from the Navy. Some of you will find other ways to serve your country and your community. You will participate in religious and civic organizations. You will start businesses. You will support your families and educate your children. These are all ways that Americans create a nation of caring and prosperity. And third, when I talk about service, as a judge, I have to emphasize a key right and responsibility that involves direct democracy. I'm talking about jury service. Jury service is something that makes the United States nearly unique in the world. See, American democracy is founded on the idea that ordinary people, under the rule of law, are capable of responsible self-government. And that doesn't just mean voting to select representatives, it also means directly deciding some of the most important disputes that affect individuals and businesses in our country. In this country, the government can accuse an individual of a crime, but only a jury of citizens, ordinary citizens like yourself, can find that person guilty. So every day in the federal courthouse where I work and in the courts of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, ordinary citizens perform this vital duty. You will, at some point, receive a summons for jury duty, sometimes for the federal court, more often for a Massachusetts court. You're required to attend, But beyond that, I hope you will cherish this as an opportunity to experience what it means to be one of we the people in a country where the people govern. So to wrap up, it's truly a privilege to stand before all of you today as you take your oath of allegiance. I want to congratulate you and your families and all in the audience. We are so fortunate to welcome you as citizens of this great country. So congratulations. Please give yourselves and each other a round of applause. Now I'd like to introduce Cameron Hickey, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the National Conference on Citizenship.
Good morning. Thank you, Judge Levinson, and thank you to the Lexington History Museum for organizing what's really an extraordinary day. And I'd also like to thank Michael and Julie Weiser for helping to sponsor this event. But most importantly, I want to thank everyone for being here. It's an amazing cap to what's been a really powerful and moving weekend for me, and I think for anyone else who is a resident of Lexington or in the area. I'm so glad that this is the final step in our celebration of our 250th anniversary here. I want to thank all of you for being here at this special ceremony, and I am here to congratulate you as our newest American citizens. It's a profound honor for me to be here today, representing the National Conference on Citizenship. We were chartered by Congress over 70 years ago because our organization is dedicated to fostering active, engaged citizenship across the United States. For decades, we've proudly facilitated naturalization ceremonies like this one because we feel these moments vividly remind us of the incredible power and potential of citizenship. I first attended a naturalization ceremony more than 30 years ago, proudly watching the man I call Dad, technically my stepfather, become an American citizen. He grew up under a dictatorship in a country burdened by severe economic hardship. Seeking freedom and opportunity, he came to America and started a new life. My dad worked tirelessly in the kinds of jobs familiar to many new immigrants, as a cab driver and a cook, to give me and my 4 siblings a future filled with possibilities. Witnessing him take the same oath you took today shaped my understanding of what it truly means to be an American. It's about courage, determination, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the promise of this nation. I also know that just as my dad was supported by friends, family, and neighbors, each of you had loved ones who helped make this moment possible, many of whom are here today. I want to thank and honor you as well. This celebration is for you too. It's particularly meaningful that today's ceremony takes place here on Lexington's Green, as we commemorate the 250th anniversary of the start of the American Revolution. On this ground, ordinary people took an extraordinary stand against tyranny and for liberty, justice, and democracy. Before the revolution, they were subjects. After, they became citizens. Their bravery and sacrifice demonstrate the power of active citizenship has to transform the world for the better. As you become citizens today, it's critical to recognize that the new rights you gain come with tremendous responsibility. It's now your duty to exercise these rights and endow them with meaning. Citizenship demands your active engagement. Today, you gain the right to vote, to actively participate in our democratic process. But citizenship means much more than just voting. For you, and for all of us, citizenship is about the role you play in improving your community, the voice you use to speak up for what's right, and critically, to do everything you can to protect the values of freedom and equality first defended right here. Benjamin Franklin famously stated, upon the founding of our new government, that we now have a republic if you can keep it. This was a direct call for active citizenship and collective responsibility. The rights and freedoms that define America require continuous nurturing, defending, and renewing by each new generation of citizens. Your new responsibilities as citizens echo those of the revolutionaries who stood here in Lexington. Ordinary individuals who understood that freedom depends on the involvement and commitment of every citizen. As Americans, you now inherit the responsibility to carry forward their legacy, nurturing democracy through participation and upholding the rights and freedoms you work so hard to earn. I congratulate each of you again on reaching this remarkable milestone. Embrace your citizenship proudly, actively, and passionately. Continue the tradition of courage and commitment exemplified here in Lexington 250 years ago. Your journey as Americans begins today, and our nation is stronger and richer because of you. Thank you and congratulations to my new fellow Americans.
I, too, am a naturalized citizen. My Estonian parents and grandparents fled communism at the end of World War II, leaving behind a good life. After working several years for the Americans in Europe, we were finally offered passage to America and a few years citizenship. They thrived here in the land of opportunity. My citizenship papers when I was a wee thing. Truly an honor to be here today, I must say. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Good try. Congratulations.
The United States District Court for the District of Massachusetts is now closed. Please remain standing while His Honor Judge Levinson exits. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and congratulations once again. Thank you. All right, we're all good. Do you want me to carry anything for you? Yeah, here.
Now, I'll be next introducing one of Lexington's leading ladies, Sophia Ho. But before I do that, I have a couple of program notes for the audience. After Sophia speaks, Boston's Customs and Immigration Services field staff will be distributing naturalization certificates. So congratulations and huzzah for that. And our town clerk, Mary Alderetti, is going to be staffing a table so that you can register to vote on the spot. So huzzah for that.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. It's a great morning. 60 years ago, I became an American citizen, and I've had a great life. I became a wife, mother, grandma, and great-grandma. So this is such a great occasion. When I became a citizen, I was fortunate to have already gone to college here, so I learned English. I feel speaking to English is very important, that you get along with your neighbors, you know what's going on in your community, and you can have an opportunity to social with your friends, negotiate with people, and get along with everything. And what I'm going to say, actually, these speakers already told us, with privilege, as an American, you enjoy all the privileges, all benefits of this country, but we also have obligations. One of them is to register to vote. As it was announced, Lexington residents can go and register already. All you need is have a license to prove your age. And you don't need your naturalization paper. You keep that in a safe place. And don't say one vote doesn't count. Every vote counts. And when you speak, people can hear you. Otherwise, you will suffer and nobody knows. So I registered to vote, and I actually advised some others, urged them to register. It is important to say things. And I want to show you, this is called Minuteman cane. It's given to a person 80 years and over, lived in Lexington for 15 years, and had made a contribution to our community. I'm very proud to have received this. I believe you enjoy, but you also need to give back. And there's a saying, happiness is built on helping others. When you help others, you're happy. And I'm thrilled that we're all here as immigrants, now as American citizens. Welcome, my fellow citizens.
Very well done, my friend. Well, with that, thank you all for coming. Huzzah for you, huzzah for Lexington, and huzzah for the USA. Have a great afternoon. Congratulations.